Hi, my name is Antonio Newton, your local realtor with the Newton Group, and welcome to Time to Talk Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about knowing your number and how important it is for homeowners to know your number. So stay tuned because you don't want to miss it.
Time to Talk Tuesday, where your local real estate team, the Newton Group, discusses the Midlands area real estate market and common issues, providing quick solutions, creative ideas, as well as tips for investors, home buyers, and homeowners.
Before we dive into today's content, please remember that you can catch all of our video content on our YouTube channel. There you'll find our monthly market stats, our Time to Talk Tuesday, as well as any video content that we release. And make sure you're telling a friend, liking and subscribing, giving us feedback, because we put this content out for you so that way you stay educated and you stay informed as a consumer in this marketplace. And what better source to have than your local real estate agents with the Newton Group. And make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so that way you get notified of any new content that we release. And also connect with us on Facebook as well as other social media sites. So, know your number. This video is mainly dedicated to current homeowners and the importance in this market of knowing your number. Many people will say that this is a crazy market. And I really don't like to use that term because that denotes, wild or uncalculated. This market is a direct reflection of supply and demand. We've seen it for years. When there's shortage or when there's scarcity, that's going to make prices go up. It's like that all the time in the car market, and we're used to that. We're accustomed to that. For instance, think about a Ferrari. They make 8,400 Ferraris throughout a year. The entry-level Ferrari starts at about $215,000. But take another car company, Honda, they make 4.4 million cars a year. And of course, you can go to almost any car dealership around here in the Columbia area and get a Honda, and the starting price can be about $25,000. So we see the difference between supply and demand, scarcity, and how that affects value and price. So if you watch social media or not, if you own social media, you may have seen the proverb talking about know your value. Now this proverb is really relating to how people value themselves and who they put themselves around. But I think it correlates to what we're talking about in terms of know the value of your house. And it goes like this. A father gave his daughter a car. It was a used car, old car. It didn't run anymore. And she took it down to the local car dealership, the used car lot. And they said, hey, this is the old car. We'll give you $1,000. So she came back, told Dad. Dad said, take it to the pawn shop. She took it to the pawn shop. They said, we'll give you $100. Still obviously not what she was expecting. And he said, take it down to the car club. Took it to the car club. They said, we'll give you $100,000. Why? Because this was a Nissan Skyline R34, which is an iconic car and sought after by many. So I use that to say value really depends on the market that you're trying to serve. So what's the value of your home? And why is it important that you know your number, that you know the value of your home? Well, think about it. Is it a Zestimate that you see online? Is that the value of your home? Is it a postcard from, we'll buy any house in any condition? Is that the value of your home? Is it a flyer from an iBuyer program like an Open Door or like a Offer Pad? Is that the value of your home? Or is it what the local real estate agent says when they do a market analysis? Is that the value of your home? You could talk to 4 different people, 4 different resources, and get 4 different opinions on value. So I'm sitting here, I recommend do your own research. Why not talk to all 4? See what they have to say. See what Zillow says. See what a local professional says. See what iBuyer, what OfferPad or Open Door says. Get as much information as you can so you know your number. Not what somebody's told you, but what you know. Because not only do you want to know your number, but you also want to know the factors that affect the number. Because then you can begin to understand how your number fluctuates in this market. So for example, schools. Think about, we're on the northeast side of Columbia when they built Westwood High School and how they rezoned and how that may have changed some things for some homeowners. Maybe you were going to Blythewood and now you go to Westwood, or maybe you were going to Keenan and now you go to Westwood. So how does that, now you're zoned for Westwood, so how does that affect your value? How does that affect your number? Think about in Lexington when they built River Bluff. You know, maybe you were going to Lexington High School. Maybe you were going to White and Knoll. Now you're zoned for River Bluff. How does that affect your value? Looking at the school ratings, think about inventory. So in your marketplace and your price point, how many homes are available? How many homes are available zoned for Dutch Fork between, 200 and 225,000? Then how many of those have a garage? So there's so many things that come into factoring into you knowing your number. Then think about the features I just mentioned. Do you have a garage? Do you have a master on the main? Are you in an HOA community? Are you not? How does that benefit you? Where are you located at? The amenities that your neighborhood provides, all these things, et cetera, et cetera. What repairs, what improvements have you done with your home? Do you have a backyard fire pit? Did you build in a pool? Anything like this can affect your number and your value. And it's important that you know how these things affect your number and your value, as we're going to get into. So whether you want to sell or not, we're going to go why it's important that you know your number. Well, one, obviously, if you want to sell, that's a no-brainer. You need to know your number so that way you can prepare your house, you can prepare the marketplace that your house is coming, and then also you can make sure that you save time as well as maximize your gains when putting your house on the market. But what if you don't want to sell? Why is it important that you know your number? Maybe you want to refinance. Refinance gives you so many options. You may reduce your mortgage obligation by getting a better rate at a lower loan amount. Maybe you want to switch from an FHA to a conventional loan so you can get rid of PMI. Maybe you already have a conventional loan and the value has increased, so maybe now you can get rid of PMI. So those three scenarios, all refinancing in those situations, all can help you reduce your monthly obligation. But then maybe you want to do a cash out refinance where you take some of the equity out of your house. Maybe you have a child that's going to college. Maybe you need to buy a car. Maybe you got an emergency that you need to tap into the equity in your house. Or maybe you want to start a business now that we're in the, even though we're coming out of the pandemic, sort of, maybe you want to start a business, or maybe you have other endeavors and you want some cash and you want to be able to tap into the equity that's in your house. So you want to do a refinance. It's important you know your number so you understand what making that solid financial decision means. And once again, knowing your number gives you the ability to make solid, sound financial decisions with your largest investment, your biggest asset for most of us, which is our home. But maybe we need to talk to our insurance provider. Maybe we need more coverage. I had a client and she bought a house several years ago, and we bought it around the 150, 155 range. So with this market the way it is, I've been going back and giving people updated evaluation because it's important that all my clients know their number. And with that being said, her house is over $200,000 now. So why is that important? Well, once again, for the reason I mentioned, but maybe she needs to up her insurance coverage. So let's say something catastrophic, a tree fell on her house, and she only had $150 worth of coverage, but now her house is $200,000, $225,000. Maybe she doesn't have enough insurance coverage to be made whole again from this catastrophic event. How will that affect her? How will that affect you? So maybe you need to know your number so you can make sure you have adequate insurance coverage in the event should something happen. So also when you think about home improvements, maybe you want to do some upgrades and add a deck or a pergola, or maybe a pool, so that way you can enjoy the warm summer months that we have ahead of us here. Or maybe you want to redo a bathroom or a kitchen or add an office space. But if your house is already valued near the highest point in the neighborhood, in your community, in the area, then maybe investing in an expensive home improvement that may not yield you the return that you want on that investment. Maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe it does. But knowing your number allows you, once again, to have the opportunity to make sound financial decisions. And that's why it's important that you know your number. So whether you decide to sell or not, but definitely before you decide to sell or buy or refinance or make home improvements, it's important that you know your number. So I encourage you to speak with me, a licensed realtor here local in the area. And if you don't want to speak with a realtor, get an appraiser. We have recommendations for those as well. But get someone who's in tune to it. Get someone who's in the car club. Don't get the local used car salesman. Don't get the pawn shop. Get someone who's in the car club, who works with buyers, who understands the value, who understands the factors that affect the value, the factors that affect your number, so that way you can have the information to make sound financial decisions. If you want us to get a market analysis together so you can know your number, it's absolutely free, no obligation, no hassle, and we'll keep your information confidential. So reach out to us. Me and my team would love to be able to serve you. You can reach us at 803-608-2597. Once again, I'm Antonio Newton, your local realtor with the Newton Group, and thank you so much for watching today's episode, and stay safe.
This episode of Time to Talk Tuesday was brought to you by the Newton Group at Coldwell Banker, where nothing works until they do. Look for episodes every Tuesday where the Newton Group discusses home buyer and seller money-saving tips and ideas, along with the Midlands area real estate market conditions. If you would like to reach out to them, they can be reached online and on land at area code 803-608-2597. So until next time, here's wishing you all fair winds, following seas, and gentle tides.